welcome back to our channel on this wonderful day. We are thrilled to dive into the latest dramatic twists unfolding in Port Charles. I have been watching this wonderful show for decades, and let me tell you, the current atmosphere in Port Charles is thick enough to cut with a knife. Over the years, I have seen many characters walk into the police station with a heavy heart. But the latest developments surrounding Jordan are truly something else entirely. We are looking at a situation where Jordan is very likely heading straight to the precinct to deliver a massive, game-changing confession. Now, in the original storylines we are used to, Jordan is typically the one sitting behind the desk, demanding the truth from criminals and keeping the streets safe. She has always been the pillar of justice, the unwavering enforcer who plays strictly by the rules. But this time, she is the one in the hot seat, and I find this role reversal absolutely fascinating. What could she possibly be confessing to? Is she taking the fall for someone else, or has she crossed a line she can never uncross? This impending confession is not just a minor plot point. It is a seismic shift that could place her in the kind of monumental trouble that ruins lives permanently. Let us really think about the gravity of this moment. When someone like Jordan, who has dedicated her entire adult life to upholding the law, decides to walk into the station and confess, it shatters the very foundation of her character arc. I cannot help but feel a deep sense of empathy for her, yet I am also incredibly critical of how she got here. The writers are clearly pushing her into a corner, and this confession is going to be the catalyst for a massive storm. Will her former colleagues even believe her? Or will they look at her with the same suspicion they reserve for the worst criminals in town? I suspect that this admission of guilt, whatever the specifics may be, is going to strip away her protective armor. She will no longer be insulated by her badge or her pristine reputation. Instead, she will be entirely exposed to the elements. And in Port Charles, those elements are incredibly unforgiving. The tension building up to this scene is palpable, and I am eagerly waiting to see the exact moment the words leave her mouth and the shock registers on the faces of the officers. But the real danger does not come from the legal system. It comes from Sidwell. Oh, Sidwell. He is a mastermind of chaos, a man who operates on control, fear, and absolute loyalty. The moment he catches a whiff of betrayal, his entire demeanor changes. I have watched villains come and go in this town, from mob bosses to rogue secret agents, but Sidwell has a particular brand of ruthless paranoia that makes my skin crawl. He is starting to suspect that someone has sold him out, that a rat has infiltrated his inner circle and compromised his grand designs. And who do you think is going to bear the brunt of this suspicion? All signs point directly to Jordan. Sidwell is not the type of man to sit back and wait for the authorities to handle things. He is going to take matters into his own hands. He will demand answers, and he will not ask nicely. The impending confrontation between him and the person he believes betrayed him is going to be explosive. Imagine the scene when Sidwell finally corners Jordan. I can already picture it in my mind's eye. A dimly lit room, the air thick with unspoken threats, and Sidwell stepping out of the shadows with that cold, calculating glare. He is going to interrogate her, breaking down her defenses with relentless questioning. Why did she do it? Who is she working for? He will demand a perfectly logical explanation, even though we all know his mind is already made up. Jordan, for all her strength, is going to find herself in a terrifyingly vulnerable position. This is not a polite disagreement. This is a brutal, high-stakes clash of wills. I have to wonder, how will Jordan handle this? Will she stand tall and look him dead in the eye, or will the sheer terror of his wrath finally break her resolve? The dynamic here is shifting from a standard cat-and-mouse game into a deeply personal vendetta, and I am entirely here for it. This confrontation is exactly the kind of gripping television that keeps me tuning in day after day. Now, let us address a very chilling detail that changes the entire landscape of this conflict. Sidwell is not operating alone. He never does. The idea that he still has loyal, hidden minions lurking in the shadows of Port Charles is utterly terrifying. These are not just mindless thugs. These are calculated operatives embedded in the daily life of the town, waiting for his signal to strike. This is a significant departure from the usual storylines where the villain's henchmen are easily identified and quickly dispatched by the local police. These hidden threats mean that nowhere is safe, not the hospital, not the police station, not even the local diner. Jordan could be walking down the street thinking she has a moment of peace, only to be ambushed by someone she thought was a friendly neighbor. The paranoia this creates for the characters and for us as viewers is brilliant. It makes every interaction suspicious. Is the barista a spy? Is the nurse on the third floor secretly reporting back to Sidwell? This web of deception is wrapping tightly around the town. Because of these hidden operatives, the threat level against Jordan is skyrocketing. The rumors and the narrative hints strongly suggest that she is going to be attacked again. I have to admit, my heart aches at the thought of her enduring more physical and emotional trauma. She has already been through the ringer, and this new impending assault feels especially cruel. But from a storytelling perspective, it is a masterstroke. It proves that Sidwell's reach is long and his vengeance is absolute. This attack will not just be a random act of violence, it will be a targeted, strategic message meant to break her spirit and warn anyone else who might think about crossing him. When the attack happens, how will she survive? Who will come to her rescue? Or will she have to fight her way out entirely on her own? I am hoping for a fierce display of survival instincts from her. We need to see the warrior inside her awaken, because the old rules of engagement no longer apply. This brings me to what I believe is the most compelling aspect of this entire saga, the psychological transformation of Jordan. After being hunted, after being attacked, and after facing the absolute darkest parts of Sidwell's empire, something inside her is going to snap. You can only push a strong person so far before they stop running and turn around to fight back. The traditional storyline would have her relying on the justice system, gathering evidence, and making a lawful arrest. But I see a different path forming, a much darker and more satisfying path. Jordan is going to realize that playing by the rules will only get her killed. She is going to become obsessed with taking Sidwell down, not just to protect the town, but to exact a deeply personal revenge. This shift from a law-abiding citizen to a woman driven by vengeance is a delicious twist. I am absolutely fascinated by the moral ambiguity of it all. Is she losing her soul in the process, or is she simply adapting to survive in a world that has gone mad? The concept of Jordan actively seeking to end Sidwell to get her revenge is a storyline that has me practically yelling at my television screen in excitement. Think about the resources she has at her disposal. She knows how the police operate, she knows how criminals think, and now she is motivated by pure, unadulterated fury. She is going to start hunting the hunter. This is where the narrative truly diverges from the expected. We are not just watching a victim try to escape, we are watching a newly forged weapon aim itself directly at the heart of the enemy. I want to see her plotting in secret, tracking down those hidden minions one by one, and sending her own terrifying messages back to Sidwell. She needs to show him that he made a fatal error in targeting her. The tension of this impending war is going to be monumental. Will she cross the ultimate line and take his life, or will she find a way to destroy his empire and leave him rotting in a cell? Either way, the journey to that climax is going to be spectacular. Sidwell, for all his cunning, has made a classic villainous mistake. He has underestimated his opponent. He looks at Jordan and sees a problem to be eliminated, a loose end to be tied up. He does not realize that by pushing her to the brink, he is forging his own destruction. I have seen this happen time and time again over my decades of watching this show. The arrogant antagonist pushes the resilient heroine to victory, thinking they have the upper hand, only to be completely blindsided by her ferocity. Sidwell thinks his hidden minions and his brutal tactics will keep him safe, but he is fundamentally misunderstanding the nature of a woman who has nothing left to lose. When Jordan finally flips the script, the look of shock on his face is going to be priceless. He is so used to people cowering in fear that he will not know how to handle someone who charges straight into the fire. I am eagerly anticipating the moment he realizes that he is no longer the predator in this scenario. Of course, a war of this magnitude cannot happen in a vacuum. The entire town is going to feel the tremors of this conflict. Who else is going to get caught in the crossfire? When Jordan goes rogue and Sidwell unleashes his full fury, the innocent bystanders are going to be in grave danger. I worry about the people close to Jordan. Will they try to stop her, or will they join her crusade? The emotional toll this will take on her relationships is going to be heavy. She is going to have to lie to the people she loves, push them away to protect them, and carry the weight of this dark mission entirely on her own shoulders. It is a lonely path, and I suspect we will see some truly heartbreaking scenes as she isolates herself for the greater good. The writers have a golden opportunity here to explore the tragic consequences of revenge, and I sincerely hope they do not shy away from the gritty, painful reality of what this war will cost everyone involved. Let us take a moment to ponder the ethical implications of all this. Is revenge ever truly justified? As a viewer, I am cheering for Jordan to take him down by any means necessary. I want to see Sidwell pay for the terror he has inflicted, but I also have to question what this will do to Jordan's legacy. She has spent her life fighting justice, and now she is stepping outside the bounds of the law to become judge, jury, and potentially executioner. It is a profound moral dilemma. If she destroys him, does she become the very monster she was trying to defeat? This is the kind of rich, complex storytelling that elevates a soap opera from mere entertainment to a gripping character study. I love it when the lines between good and evil are blurred, when we have to question our own morals as we root for a character to do something terrible for the right reasons. It sparks so much thought and debate, and it is exactly why I have remained a fiercely loyal fan for all these years. The pacing of this storyline is going to be crucial. We need to feel the slow, agonizing buildup of tension. Every time Jordan steps out of her house, we need to wonder if this is the moment the hidden minions strike. Every time Sidwell makes a phone call, we need to feel the dread of his impending retaliation. The writers are masterfully laying the groundwork for an explosive climax. The pieces are all moving into position on the chessboard. The confession at the police station is the opening move. Sidwell's confrontation is the counterattack. The hidden minions are the traps laid on the board, and Jordan's quest for revenge is the endgame. I can feel the heat and excitement radiating from the screen. How will it all culminate? Will it be a massive shootout at the docks, a tense standoff in a deserted warehouse, or a quiet, deadly encounter in the dead of night? The possibilities are endless, and my mind is racing with theories